Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, Solila gains enough XP to upgrade her suit as we review the end of the third arc in Skybound's Void Rivals number 18. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025, and this is episode 440 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that is thinking about adding an asterisk to our podcast name. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
The asterisk is for new transmissions. It's going to be new transmissions now. Let's talk Transformers.
Hopefully it's better than New Coke.
Yeah.
We'll just go back to classic transmissions after it doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And make even more money.
There you go.
You're skipping the step where we go to where we attempt transmissions clear.
That was Pepsi.
That was Pepsi.
You can't cross streams like that.
We can, and we did. We're not a drink. We're a podcast, and we're clear.
The transmissions are clear.
Yeah.
All right. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for your continued contributions. It really helps us keep this show going. And of course, we've got one of our Donatreons upgraded their pledge this week. So thank you to Craig, who upgraded their pledge to duly appointed supporter of the Transmissions podcast. So Craig, you've been with us for a while. Thank you for the continued support.
Hell yeah.
And as a Donatreon, you all get access to bonus content. That includes our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. And there's 14 episodes of that on our Patreon page that you all have access to. And Daryl and Dr. Pants show off the biggest bots in their collection. And hopefully more coming soon.
You don't need more than 14. 14 is a lot. That's a lot of episodes. You don't need a lot. You need more than that.
We need to keep the content coming, Daryl. That's how you stay in business.
I see.
Okay, no further comments.
Nope. I see it.
All right.
That's all.
Speaking of content, we've got our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. They're up to episode 134, Four Lords and a Monocracy. So that is available right now for everyone at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And then episode 135, the bonus uncut version, will be coming for Donatrons next Monday. And then a week later for all our regular listeners. So enjoy. If you have not had a chance to pick up our Skybound Transformers #1 that we commissioned from the podcast with cover art by EJ Sue, you can order that now at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. This is still available. And of course, you can also go to toyhacks.com to get 15% off all your purchases at toyhacks.com using our code MaydayCon. So this is the new code for the month of May, MaydayCon. And that will get you 15% off all the labels and stickers at toyhacks.com for all your stickering needs for all your Transformers toys and other toys as well. And lastly, I want to mention again that the episode that I was on with the Play Comics podcast, that just came out this week. So you can check that out at playcomics.com. And I was on an episode to talk about the Transformers Armada 2004 PS2 game. So that was a fun time. Thank you to Chris for inviting me on the Play Comics podcast, and we'll have to do it again sometime. All right. Well, let's get into the show, and we're going to jump right into our comic review. And this week we are reviewing Void Rivals number 18. The writer, Robert Kirkman, artist, Lorenzo Di Felici, colorist, Patricio Del Pesce, letterer, Russ Wooten, editor, Ben Abernathy, logo and publication design, Andres Suarez, and production, Ashby Florence. So we are doing a full spoiler review of Void Rivals number 18. So if you haven't read it yet, go pick it up or turn off the podcast and come back after you've read it. It's a quick read. It won't take you too long. So read the whole story and then come back and listen to us review it. All right, we will start off with a summary of the story. In Zertonia, Premier Zalalak has completed the trials given to him by Mistress Vil and the Keepers of the Light. After much pain and suffering, he is ready to follow the true path of Zerta and complete a new task set before him. Meanwhile, in the Zertonian capital city, Proximus and his child sidekick Ultim have taken over. The Zertonian guards don't want to challenge Proximus's strength, and they let him take Premier Zalalak's throne. But he doesn't want to rule. In the end, he just wants to sit and rest. In Agoria, Derek is overwhelmed by the revelations his father, Minister Doolin, has shared with him about the Agorians and Zertonians and why they must always be kept apart at all cost. But Derek, as still a bit skeptical, asks how he knows all this. Doolin simply answers the sacred texts. These documents have been passed down through the ages among the Zertonian and Agorian leadership. All the secrets about the similarities between the Agorians and Zertonians that Derek and Solila discovered were long known by those in power on both sides. But Derek says they used that information to manipulate their people, to which Doolin angrily replies that was the point, in order to keep everyone safe. Derek doesn't have an answer to that. Now that Derek knows the truth, Doolin is happy to reconcile and work together with his son to move forward. But their first order of business is to find Solila and stop her from spreading the forbidden knowledge further. But Derek has no idea where she is now. Deep beneath the surface of the sacred ring, Zerta Trion orders Solila to use her key to reactivate the Vector Theta supercomputer. Vector Theta is not pleased to be reawakened, but Zerta Trion has one last task for the computer. She tells it to give Solila the power Zerta once had so that she can fulfill her mission to unite the people of the sacred ring. Vector Theta asks if Solila is worthy of this power, and Zerta answers yes without hesitation. Back in Agoria, Derek visits Director Elander, one of the Agorian Unification rebels, after they were discovered last issue. Elander is surprised to see that Derek is not also imprisoned and reasons that Derek betrayed him as well. Derek tells him that he would never betray him even if Doolin thinks Elander is actually a traitor to their people. Elander just sits in sullen anger at the fact that the Agorians will continue to be led by ancient texts containing superstitious nonsense. Derek asks if Elander has actually read the sacred texts. He answers no, but he knows that what they say, and he doesn't believe that there is some sleeping monster that will be reawakened if their people are brought together. But Derek asks what if it's true, and Elander says it's not possible and absurd. Elander continues that he loves Agoria and its people, but he also hates the fact that the Zertonians are suffering on the other side of the sacred ring, and he would take any punishment to end that suffering. He also has news for Derek. Before they were arrested, he did get a signal from the Zertonian unifiers his group had been in contact with. The Zertonians have built their own energon well, and they got the schematics first, so it's already operational. So that means the Zertonians will not be the weak opponents the Agorians are used to, and he asks if Derek knows how the Zertonians got access to the same information. Derek doesn't answer. In the depths of the Sacred Ring, Vector Sigma has granted Solila the power of the Sacred Ring and returns to shut itself down. Solila feels strange with the new power coursing through her. Zerta Trion asks her where she wants to start her mission. Solila answers that she wants to check in on Derek since he is an ally that can help bring unity to their people. Zerta tells her that if she wants to see him, she just has to will it into being. And suddenly, wires and machines embedded within the sacred ring itself come to life around Solila, absorbing her into the ring. Solila is alarmed at first, but Zerta tells her that with her new powers, the sacred ring is at her command. In Agoria, Doolin and Derek oversee the Energon harvesting operation. Doolin is skeptical of this new power source, but Derek tells him he's seen how it can help their people. Springer told him that the Mind Eye gems on all Agorian and Zertonians' foreheads are actually energon ports, which enable them to absorb the energy themselves. Meanwhile, Springer and Hot Rod prepare Hot Rod's ship to return to Cybertron with a full supply of energon for the Autobot cause. Finally, now that Derek and Doolin are working together, Doolin has a new mission for his son. Doolin has lost contact with Premier Zalilak in Zertonia, and since they heard from Melander that the Zertonians are also harvesting energon, he's concerned about them gaining an advantage over the Agorians. So he's sending Derek on a recon mission into Zertonian territory, just a quick flyby to take sensor readings and video, but not long enough to engage them. Derek begins to answer, but suddenly they are interrupted by Solila emerging from the ground through the sacred ring itself. Derek is surprised to see her, but he introduces her to his father and the leader of the Agorians, Minister Doolin. Solila greets him respectfully and immediately asks for his help to bring the process of unifying the Agorians and Zertonians. But Minister Doolin, of course, does not take this well. He immediately brands her a traitor and orders his son Derek to execute her at once. Derek hesitates and locks eyes with an increasingly annoyed Solila. To be continued. So, yeah, this was not at least for me, this was not a great issue. It was too much flip-flopping, jumping around. We didn't really have a conclusion of the story arc. It was more like just a setup for the the next arc, I guess. I don't know. I was hoping that we'd get a little bit more of Springer and Hot Rod. I mean, they've been kind of limited to 1 or 2 pages in each of these issues for the last few issues, so that's a little bit disappointing. There was absolutely no action in this issue. That was also disappointing. Yeah, so I just felt like there's too many plot threads and they all like moved forward an inch in this book, and that was kind of the end. So that felt unsatisfying to me. So, Daryl, what were your thoughts?
Classic Kirkman. That's what this is. This is Robert Kirkman doing his thing. The problem was that this was the end of an arc, and this is going to be the way they do these things is they put 6 issues in a trade now. So this is issue 18. This is the last the end of a trade as well. So, this is how it's going to end. Like, this is a bullshit ending, Kirkman.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Like, what are you doing, man? This is not great on any stretch. So, this is, at least this had some Transformers in it. They referenced Alita 1 back on Cybertron. They referenced the idea of, have you heard anything about Prime and his group? Nope, we haven't heard anything. They're still lost. So, these, at this point, Springer and Hot Rod are lost. So because Prime and Alita 1 know where each other are. We know that. I mean, again, like the G.I. Joe book, we don't know what time this is taking place in, right? So at least they know, we know that they know of each other and they know of all the other groups, right? So,
yeah,
so
they're not like Jetfire, where he was lost before the war.
That's right. So, at least we have a little bit of bearing on what time it is.
Within a few million years.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So if they can make contact with Cybertron, then, then we'll get an update on what time it is. But as far as the Void Rivals storyline goes, yeah, this was classic Kirkman, not moving, filling a 30-page comic book and not telling you anything. So, yeah, I mean, you got Solila having upgraded her armor and getting some kind of new powers, like to be able to communicate with the planet itself or the sacred ring. but you know, I'm sure there's a bunch of other plot powers that are going to be exposed through the story. Um, what's
And
his nut?
I think she like implication is that she's upgraded, not just her armor. It's like the directly
Yeah.
into her
Oh, okay,
body or whatever. So yeah,
well, that's
I
cool.
don't know what that means, but
I mean, like when I was reading it for the first time, I thought, okay, you just upgraded Solila to be much more powerful. Is she not able to get um what's her name, the robot that's now like that's stuck inside the planet, uh
Zerta
Zerta,
Trion.
is she not able to help Zerta now? Was was the 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 vector theta, was that not able to upgrade her enough to to help the to help Zerta out? You know,
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that was kind of like, I'm okay. Oh, I'm an able-bodied, being now. Upgrade me to the point where I can help you out of here, right? So, that's the kind of thought that was going through my head at that point was, you know, okay, well, I'll see ya, I guess. um,
yeah. I mean, Zerta Trion looks like just the low like her lower legs are broken off. Like they can't replace her lower legs, and then she should be able to just get up and do whatever, right?
yeah, I mean, where's a hiss tank when you need one? Um, but as far as the story goes, like, um, they got the one guy who's the badass, and I can never remember his name. Um,
Proximus.
yeah, so he's got the kid now, and he's just gonna sit in this chair and have the kid stare at him. So I guess that's cool. Okay, whatever. Um, so that was a whole 2 pages of him walking in and being like, "I'm just gonna sit." Cool. All right. So yeah, this was, like we've talked about many times while reviewing Void Rivals, is Robert Kirkman knows how to write a book and not tell you a goddamn thing. So this was one of those books.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like he had such a lore dump from the previous issue. Like maybe he should have saved all that lore dump for the to end the arc on. I mean, that would have been something meaty at least that to end the story arc. But I
Give
don't
you
know.
a cliffhanger or something to be like, okay, I can't wait for issue 19 now because I want to know what happened to X. What happened to
Mhm.
this thing. But no, it's just like, all right, whatever. This is nothing really. Like, are they gonna fight? They're gonna fight, obviously. That's there's a you know so I don't know. It was not a great issue. I agree with you, Charles. But at least it had Transformers in it.
That's true. All right, Jeremy, what are your thoughts? Do you agree, or are you gonna, or was this the best issue ever for you?
No, I totally agree. It too many storylines going on, so nothing gets enough time to flesh itself out. Like in theory, a comic book, even though it's part of a big arc, each individual book should have a beginning, middle, and end. And we're just seeing middle, 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 middle,
Hmm.
and it's not satisfying at all. Um, when a comic book can deal with having like an A, B, and C plot at various stages of the completion. I feel like we have like a D, E, and F. It's just there's not enough room for anything, and I had to remember like when Proximus sat on his throne, I had to be like, oh yeah, he's not the normal leader of the Zertonians. It took me a minute. So I think if that story had gotten more pages in the last issue, or I don't know, it's just, this is becoming a very frustrating book. I like the ideas that it's putting together, the lore and all of the ideas are interesting to me. The execution is where it's falling flat, and it's solely on the writing side, because the art I thought was really good this issue. I really enjoyed it. I was sad to see in the letters column, this is Lorenzo's last book for a while, because they're bringing on a new artist next month. So, but I really enjoyed the art, particularly like that last page with what's his name, the leader guy, Minister Doolin.
Mm-hmm.
The pencil shading and stuff on his face just looked really good. So this is just, give us more time with each story. And if that means that like the Proximus thing had to be left out completely in this book so you can give something else a little more room, fine. It didn't add anything to the story that you're telling in this particular issue. Just even the Hot Rod and Springer scene, other than telling us, oh yeah, they're aware of the war, and you know the they know that Optimus is not on Cybertron and stuff. It doesn't really do anything for this story, and it's just it was very frustrating for me to read. So I hate it because I enjoyed the book overall, like the series. I just want it to be not written for the trade.
Yeah.
And as a first time Kirkman reader, this is not doing any favors for wanting to read any of his other stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's also funny because like what I thought was the most compelling thing about Proximus in general was that like we way back when he was like first introduced, we got the implication that he might be Solila's little brother, and we've had like no follow up of that on that from like the last 12 issues.
I completely forgot.
And yeah, I mean that's the problem. Like you're gonna forget a lot of things because it's just not, none of these storylines are moving forward. So
Yeah.
oh well. But yeah, I mean I don't know what everyone else out there is thinking about Void Rivals. Let us know if you have any thoughts or feedback about it. Are we too harsh on it, or should we let Kirkman cook and
I mean, well, also, I mean, the whole like Cobra Law people, like that was not complete in this book at all. I mean,
right?
so obviously there's another storyline there that they did choose to leave out.
Mm-hmm.
They That's frustrating.
Yeah.
They have the ability; they can do it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's our review of Void Rivals number 18. Let's move on to some media news.
All right, and first up, me news. Before we get into these, I want to remind everybody about Free Comic Book Day again. Um, just remember, there are 2 Transformers books being given away for Free Comic Book Day, and one is the Energon Universe special, second year in a row that they've done that, and the second book is the worst bot ever, the one that we've talked about a few times over the years, and it's now being given away as a Free Comic Book Day book, and yeah, it's much more children centric, so yeah, it's good for the little ones. And it's yeah, take a look at that. So yeah, and there's some other really great books being offered this year for Free Comic Book Day if you're into other brands and other properties. So take a look at that. But yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, May the 3rd, head out to your local comic book store and pick up some free comics. All right, and we're getting into the Transformers Eternal War mobile game is has a closed beta that's opened up for Australia and New Zealand. Um, and if you were lucky enough to get into that, um, you know, congratulations. We've got some images coming out of that as well, so you can take a look at that. That's pretty cool. The I guess this game's coming pretty soon. There's always going to be a Transformers mobile game, and I guess that some of them are pretty good. This one looks neat, so we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of check out. Yeah, like Jeremy's just kind of going through. If you're watching the video, Jeremy's got a couple pictures up here of what the images are going to look like, and what your mobile screen will look like if you've got it on your phone or tablet. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. The seems pretty good.
I mean, it's no Earth Wars, but
Mhm.
which is still going.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can definitely tell that they've taken inspiration from some of the toys for these figure models.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that hound looks good.
Hmm. Yeah. Right on. So yeah, take a look at that, and I'll eagerly await to see when that hits the open market for download. All right. Next up, and the last thing for media news is we've got the fourth episode of Transformers Wild King is available on YouTube, and you can take a look at that. I have not watched it. These episodes are ridiculous, but they are fun in a ridiculous way. So yeah, I can take a look and see what you think. Yeah. Charles, did you watch it? I know you're a huge fan.
No, I did not get a chance to watch this. Yeah, I think 3 episodes was enough for me. So we can keep mentioning them, but I will not be doing any more lightning reviews of these
Okay.
episodes.
Cool. All right. Well, let's I mean, it's a cool property for kids, and if if you've got a little one at home, uh, I feel you. And maybe sit them down in front of the TV for 10 seconds
Although, I
and
mean,
see if
it's
you
in
can
Japanese, so
Yeah,
it's even better. It's even better. So, yeah, try and entertain them for 10 seconds and get a minute to rest.
the opening theme song is very upbeat. It's very non-Transformers-y theme song. But
I mean, have you listened to any of the Japanese themes?
yeah, that's true. Maybe it's yeah, it's distinctly a Japanese anime theme. So
Hmm.
yeah.
We got the RID 2001 theme song was pretty good too. Pretty up.
Yeah. All right. That's all for media news. Let's move on to convention news.
All right, we're starting to get TFCon Chicago announcements. It's October 24th through 26th, and they have announced that Charlie Adler is going to be there. He's been in many, many, many things, but in Transformers, he was the voice of Silverbolt, Trigger Happy, and Borath in G1, and he was also Starscream in the first live-action Bay movie. So, well, he did a good job there. So, looking forward to having him there at TFCon.
All right. And we will finish up the show with feedback. All right. We have some good feedback. Okay, before we get into our audio feedback, I did want to mention we just had a comment in the Discord from longtime listener Mechadino, and he asked a question about the Transformers compendium that's on Kickstarter right now. So he said, "Do we know or think that there might be a chance of the Kickstarter books being possibly released otherwise, aside from, of course, eBay sales after its release, which I wouldn't be surprised not to see, especially considering that the Kickstarter has hit the amount it has. And
which we forgot to have in the news at all.
well, we're going to talk about it, so don't worry. So yes, they will. So at least the compendium volumes that are the Marvel US G1 comics have already been announced and have listings on Amazon. So you can pick up volume 1, that's supposed to be released June 10th, and volume 2 will be released October 21st. So that's just the US ones. So the UK ones are I guess I think they're either labeled as UK volume 1 and 2 or just volume 3 and 4, I'm not sure. But those ones have not yet shown up on Amazon, but I assume they probably will be. So the 4 those compendiums should be available to buy as paperbacks. I do not know about the Till All or One compendium that combines all the books together, like all the US and UK material together in one set. That does not look like it's been announced or shown to be available anywhere outside the Kickstarter, but maybe it will be in the future. But at least the 4 individual compendium volumes, it looks like they are going to be released, and you can actually order the first 2 right now. You can pre-order those. So
I mean, it looks like the versions with this particular art and stuff is likely a Kickstarter exclusive, but yeah, I would expect them to release all of them.
Yeah. All right. So, Mechadino, hope that answers your question, and let us know if that sways you either way on to joining the Kickstarter or avoiding it. So,
and they are at $3.158 million right now, out of a $40,000 goal.
That's insane.
And they have unlocked a reprint of Marvel Transformers number 5. I think we had talked about that's the first time it's fully been reprinted, and they're also going to have, as an add-on, you can get just the art itself with no no comic branding on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. They've announced a coin everyone's going to get.
And they just just today, I think they've already blown past another stretch goal. So they had a stretch goal at 3,150,000, which they are past that now. And that is for 2 more tech spec cards with art by Jeff Senior. So Jeff Senior, one of my favorite Marvel G1 artists. So
Jeff Senior, Andrew Waldman, and Jorge Corona.
Very cool.
Hate not seeing any of the old IDW artists on this, but
yeah. All right. We do have some additional feedback. We have an audio feedback from this month's Toy Hacks contest winner, our Donatron Fat Rob. So let's hear what Fat Rob has to say for us.
What's up, Transmissions crew? It's been a while. There have been plenty of times when I wanted to drop you guys a message. I've been meaning to send a simple thank you to Jeremy for being the mastermind behind this great and enduring podcast. There have been plenty of times when I wanted to join the increasing number of fans teasing Daryl, whose open hostility for a real American hero is matched by my ongoing appreciation for the line. I never got to voice my sadness for Yoshi's sudden exit from the show. But hearing Charles's reluctance to support the Skybound Transformers Compendium project just leaves me bewildered and disappointed. If there ever was an uber fan of the original Marvel Comics line, it's you, Charles. Your reverence and insane encyclopedic knowledge of the Marvel Comics continuity of Transformers lore is up there only with the most dedicated in the community. And I get it. I get the love for the material. You see, I was there all those years ago. It was the summer of '84, and I saw that shrunk-wrapped original set of 3 comics at Wynn's. Can't recall if the toys came out by that time, but I knew I had to have that set of comics. The Transformers were on my original pull box way back in the 80s, and the characters and mythology have stuck with me all these decades later. As for the Kickstarter, yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow, what with the price tag and all, but I had to back it. And I know that my devotion for the comics mythology is but a mere fraction of the magnitude that you possess, Charles. The professionalism, attention to detail, beautiful artwork, and nods to the fans, only a few examples of how the creators of this project have convinced me of their total commitment to this undertaking. So, if I may, Charles, allow me to be that wicked voice of temptation in the back of your mind and contemplate no further. Time and time again you've shown restraint towards this wonderful hobby. But now is the time to celebrate and experience this incomparable tone of OG Comics goodness, worthy of your scholar-like insight and loyal patronage. For you, Charles.
Wow.
All right.
I'm crying. I'm so touching.
Rob, you're right. I mean, look, you knew I was gonna back it. But the price tag was, I can't, I had to express a little bit of hesitation and frustration, but it was gonna happen.
Right.
Thank you for the extra push. Thank you for the extra push, Rob. I appreciate it. But it's also the conundrum I have, as for everyone who loves this and has already backed it. I mean, I'm sure everyone will enjoy this. For me, the issue is this is what this I'm like 27th dipping to get this comics compendium now. I mean, I bought the original issues back in the 80s. I had, back in the 80s when Marvel was still letting you subscribe directly to them, I was getting the Transformers subscription directly into the mail, and because I couldn't wait till that subscription came, I was still going to the comic shop that Wednesday and picking up the books. So I was already double dipping back in the 80s when you didn't even get an alternate cover. You just got the same cover twice because I couldn't wait to get those Transformers comics. I in the late 90s, early 2000s, when eBay just started, I was a broke college student. I shelled out the money to buy a bunch of UK comics from people in the UK. You had to write out a physical check because PayPal didn't exist. You had to write out a physical check, mail it to the UK, and then they were going to send the comics back to you via media mail, which took like 6 weeks. And you just had to hope and pray that it would get there. And I got a bunch of UK comics that way before you had any digital versions of the UK comics. So, you merely adopted the comics. I was born in them, so I appreciate. I thank you for appreciating my love of the original Marvel G1 comics. Thank you for the kind words and the encouragement to do my duty and support this Kickstarter. And I did. Yes, I did.
Nice.
And
good. I'm glad that you finally,
came to your senses.
Prove that you really are a G1 fan.
Prove that I was the number one G1 comics fan on this podcast.
If you didn't back it, the next time we did have Booty Yancey or any of those G1 creators on, we'd have to mention it.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I'm a little embarrassed because I didn't think I would. I thought it was too rich, but I look. I didn't do the Unicron level.
Oh, I mean, who does?
but well, but there was one book plate left for the Kickstarter level. The one book plate left was the Megatron tier, and that's $600. And I clicked it. I clicked it.
So you're getting the individual US and UK set and the $2 one. Wow.
The Decepticon version. Yeah.
Nice.
Did I just hear your wife pass out upstairs? You did what?
That's a conversation for a much later time when the books actually show up in
future
my
Charles.
house.
Charles, yeah.
I mean, after Charles gets some really, really good presents for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was your present to me. You just didn't know it.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
so, yeah, go ahead.
I just did the Grimlock level for me. Just the Till All Are One books. That's all I need.
Yeah. That was the other thing that was hard for me, because they did, like, having the Autobot and Decepticon variants. That's another knife in the back, like, because you want both, but you can't get both. Come on, you can't.
Then you're really double dipping.
Yeah. But now I'm from Marvel issue 75, when Unicron attacks Cybertron, and he blasts Scorponok, had finally turned good and was fighting alongside Prime. Unicron blasts Scorponok, and he's laying on the ground dying, and Optimus Prime kneels down with him, and Scorponok says, "Prime, did I do good?" So Rob, I'm asking you, did I do good? And Prime would answer, "Yes, old friend, you did." And then Scorponok dies. So it's a deep cut. Hey, that's what I do. It's a deep cut. That's what I do.
The deep cut. Yeah. Well, I feel like I should announce that I have backed the Big C version of this, the Big C offering, whereas it is I just get Charles to read me the comic. It's a very exclusive tier.
It's the ASMR
level.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you backed it.
Yeah.
Charles.
Good job, Charles. Yeah. I can't afford that shit. Look at all this stuff behind me. I can't have that and this.
This was a pricey couple of months here. I got that. I got the HasLab, and I got a Nintendo Switch too. So yeah.
I mean, didn't have to get the HasLab.
I didn't have to get any of these things.
And the price on your Switch too may change. So look at that. Look at the bright side on that.
Yeah.
But I also gotta thank Rob. We didn't add the music in that voicemail. That was all Rob.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing.
Yeah, good job, Rob.
And we Rob used to give us a lot of feedback in the early days, and hadn't heard from him in a while. Mm-hmm. And then just to come back with that, I mean, everyone else that has ever sent us voicemail, the bar's been raised.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
All right, Rob. I hope this means we're gonna hear more from you in the coming weeks and months. So hopefully that means you're back in the regular feedback rotation. Let us know. And we'll have to have a chat about the comics when we finally get those compendiums and get to open them up. I hope they are everything that they look like. That Kickstarter looks beautiful. So hopefully they are everything they're promised. So, all right. Well, that is all our feedback. So I think that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Again, thanks to everyone who watches and listens, especially our masterpiece donatrons. And thank you to John Forks Lemongood and Steve C. You guys are awesome. You contribute to the podcast at the highest level on Patreon, and that's why you get a mention in every episode. So thank you once again. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hi.
Player.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.